welcome everybody to the meeting of Ramsgate Town Council Planning and Infrastructure Committee, Wednesday the 10th September 2005. Please, can you make sure your mobile phones are turned off, including me? Yes, I have. First of all, we'll do apologies. We have apologies
from Councillor Hetherington, who has a personal commitment.
Okay. Councillor Wing is on her way.
No way, she was here for another meeting, has had to nip home and has come back.
Okay. First of all, any declarations of interest? No. The minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of August. We need to approve these as a true record. Please, can I have a proposer?
No, I think actually I wasn't here that meeting.
Yeah. Councillor Auburn, well, I will second that. Yeah, I'll second. Right. Then I'm going to hand over to the town clerk to explain this KCC Highways.
Thank you, Chair. So, item 4.1, Highways Amendment 4 Deposit Document. There's actually two matters within this document. First of all is that KCC is updating its official orders map, and then specific to Ramsgate is adding a new width restriction on the port tunnel to stop oversized vehicles using it unless they have special permission or emergency vehicle.
That's interesting. Sorry, I should go through the check. I just ask, do we know if that's through with regards to people staying overnight down there? Is that true?
Yeah, if I can help, I think it's in relation to the amount of work that needs to be done within the tunnel, because they're saying it's unsafe.
Oh, okay.
And especially after the crash, the car going into the tunnel, not that that made any much difference, to be quite honest. So I think that's what they're worried about, is what goes over the tunnel. So if vehicles are too high, then they catch the top, then it will fall in. That's what I'm thinking. That's my reasoning for it. I think.
I thought it was to do with the ventilation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all part of it.
Yeah. Councillor Shonk.
Years ago, we've always had a problem with that tunnel, and I sat here many years ago, around the town council, and we asked KCC to work on that tunnel at night times, and that was promised. I can't see why it can't be done at night time. Because every time you see that place is closed during the daytime, the lights are still flashing from months now. I've been in touch with Paul Bannock about that. I can't see why work can't be done at night time in that tunnel, so the traffic can flow.
Could you use your answer?
I have.
To try and
6 years ago, 8 years ago.
well,
Sure.
We've
a renewed effort.
It's got nothing to do with this item.
No,
it's
true.
right, what you're saying, but it's got nothing to do with this item in relation to what cases here are proposing.
Okay, I don't see that we can have any problems with this. We have to go, yeah.
Chair, the only issue is obviously whatever comes out of the port, the lawyers come out of the port will have to go through there. So that's the only cause of concern that I have, as to whether the height restriction will be enough to let current vehicles through.
True, yeah. Do we have any, sorry.
So, may I confirm that the restriction will be on vehicles with an abnormal width, which is described over 3.75 metres, who must have pre-approval from the structure's assets manager before access.
Well,
fair enough.
That's probably all right then. Can we note this then?
Noted.
And
Yeah.
noted any further? Yeah. Okay. And the second,
The item 4.2 is the Kent County Council Various Roads Thanet Speed Limits Consolidation Order 2025, which tidies up and consolidates all existing speed limit rules in Thanet into one single updated order. All the older limit orders from 2022 to 2024 are revoked. The same speed limits still apply, but now they're all collected into one set of maps and schedules to make things clearer and easier for KCC to manage. No actual changes to speed limits are being introduced. It's purely an administrative update.
Suppose we note the amendments.
Second that.
yes. All those in favour of noting the amendment?
Chair, just clarify on that. So we're talking about a speed limit, but everything stays the same at the moment.
Yes, that's what it was.
Because I've been in touch with Paul Valley, and it's really basically down to KCC. But at the end of the day, they're the knowledge.
Yeah, they're just giving us the information that they're changing, that they're
The presentation.
everything
Exactly.
together and just putting it in one plan instead of all being separate plans. So that's
Is that all right,
Absolutely.
Right, okay. So sorry, Councillor Green.
Is the new map on the website?
The new map is included on KCC's website and with, it's on there.
Oh, yes.
The only thing you can, I would say is you could see the new map. There wasn't an easy comparison to what it's replacing. I think how it works is the order includes map tiles and legends which show exactly where each speed limit applies across Thanet. And from 22nd of August, these new consolidated maps become the official record of speed limits in the district.
I just wanted to check if the 20 mile an hour and under the cut was on there.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I look, we looked.
We
Yeah.
just showed.
Yeah.
What was just up, and then having to listen to these.
Councillor Shaw.
I know you're not going to like it. I'm not voted in to have a war on motorists. I've had a long talk about this. Some areas, yes. But that's not on my remit. There are roads, even today, forget about the 20 or 30, this road here, they're doing 60, 70 mile an hour.
Well, we're
And
not,
up high, I know you're not talking about it, but can't we correct that first?
yes, as you say, we're not talking about that at the moment. We're just talking about them making a full and accurate record. Councillor
Well, we
Austin.
rely on our KCC councillors to take those messages forward, don't we?
Free to.
The thing that I noticed, as Councillor Green said, yes, the another corporate stuff is on there. We've had some correspondence with KCC Highways about this because we noticed that there's an awful lot of 20 mile an hour zones in other parts of Thanet, which we're really pleased to see happening. And we hope that this is an indication that they will be
Pleased with the idea of making the town centre 20 miles an hour as we keep requesting.
St Peter's today, for some reason, they've got all sorts of traffic.
Yes.
I think it makes it a lot easier to get to grips with what's happening across Thanet by having it on
one
map.
place,
It's
yes.
a very sensible thing to do.
Yes. Hear, hear.
nice, makes a change for KCC.
Okay, so we agreed
noted.
to know.
Yeah, and all that.
Noted.
Great, okay.
And item 4.3 is the Kent County Council has set aside 1.5 million for a bus service improvement plan funding to support projects that improve local bus travel across the county. This money is for capital projects only, not running costs, and will be distributed through a competitive bidding process open to district, borough and town councils as well as bus operators. The funding is aimed at schemes that deliver lasting benefit for bus passengers and services, such as better information and signage for bus users, passenger and driver facilities at stops or depots, improvement to bus vehicles or operator facilities, and projects that make it easier to connect buses with other transport like rail. And these are schemes that must be delivered by March 2027 and be supported by a long-term plan to sustain them in the future. The application deadline is the 31st of October. I think between when this was advertised and the deadline is a very tight time unless councils and bus operators already have existing ideas, other made plans that they're sitting on.
Councillor Wing.
I think Patricia was before me, sorry, Chair.
Oh, sorry,
I just want to say, Dean and I have had a little bit of conversation about this, and we would like to discuss at the Climate Change Task Group in a couple of weeks' time whether there might be a small project that we could put in for through that group. And if we did, obviously we would come back to council with that.
Could some of this money be used, or we've got that High Street, you know, the road change that's been coming for years. Could that be used? We're going to enhance the road with High Street Fund money, I think. I lose confusion of money. Of the changes there, which obviously involves a significant number of bus stops. So are the district council aware that they could dip into something that might improve the bus?
we wanted to move from Leopold Street to the front.
Is that a question you've asked them?
We've asked, they've already said no to that, haven't they?
Yeah, obviously, £1.5 million is for the whole of Kent.
It's not going to go very far.
And that ain't going to go far. So you'll be lucky to get a couple of grand out of it.
Yeah.
And not saying that we shouldn't think of anything for it, because we should.
Yeah.
You know, you could effectively, out of that, whatever you've got, let's say you've got 50 grand or something, you might be able to get a small minibus to do the villages, whatever, but then you've got to do the running costs, because it doesn't cover the running costs. So I think it's a nice number, it's a nice number to put out on a bit of paper, but to actually get something that's going to be worthwhile to our residents is going to be...
Just to come back at that, so the road will be enhanced. Sorry, I just wanted to come back. But some of this money could be used to enhance the bus stops alongside the refurbished or updated flow of the road.
That's what you're saying, Councillor Ross.
I was thinking of something much more modest than Councillor Alban was suggesting, bearing in mind that it's got to spread right across. So I was thinking about, one of the things they're talking about was facilities for passengers and whatever. So I was thinking about benches at bus stops for, you know, allowing for the fact we've got an older population, etc. You know, can we install some benches at bus stops that would make it more comfortable for some of our older residents to travel by bus rather than bring their cars into town, etc.
I would love to see what they've got in London, where they've got electronic signs.
Yes, the signs that tell you, yes. Although I'm assured that if you've got the Stagecoach app, I'm assured that it tells you very reliably.
Yes, if you have to have
yes.
That's why 3 loops come on at the same time.
Especially with a lot of road day. It's been a nightmare to work out when and where the bus is going to come. Councillor,
I think this is good news. I think we're about lots of other things, but there's so many people out there that can't get buses because there's no buses available. You've got people that live at this end, and that would help them just to get the thing moving, something, and get the car off the road and use this bus service. I mean, there's Minster and Moncton. That was stopped because...
No buses in the evenings, no buses.
That was stopped because the traffic cannot move around Minster and Moncton, so therefore we've all lost that. So I think it's good news, and hope we have some input on it. Bus shelters, I think there are movements there to get grant money for bus shelters, because one on Grange, Station Approach Road that was run into, it's never been replaced. So when it's raining, we should stay and get wet. But it's good news.
Cabinet list. Cabinet list.
Yeah, we've got We got bus stops, didn't we, last week?
Councillor Green about a community bus. I investigated it because of that 20 million.
Yeah.
Or 2 million per year. And it's part of the problem. The money is for Ramsgate. It's not for Minster
Or Cliffsend even.
That's one problem. And that's probably where we need the community bus services in those
Could have
places.
just come about on that stage. It's wonderful, that does connect everybody, but it just needs to, I mean, when you're talking about Minster, they call it Minster in Ramsgate, say Moncton in Ramsgate.
So we've got something.
Anyway, we'll see, we see.
They're valid, aren't they? They're not necessarily Ramsgate.
This is Moncton and in Ramsgate. Anyway, looking into that.
Sorry, Councillor Orban.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion, Chair? I think we all need to sit down and think about what we could do, but it would be ideal if we knew what kind of money that we were going to be able to do. But obviously what they're saying, basically what they're saying is, you come up with an idea, you come up with what it is, but then you've got to find out how much that's going to cost. Then you've got to put that in to KCC, then for them to say, yes, you can have it, or no, you can't. Or you can have part of it, but where's the other part? So, but I do think we can sit around here all night thinking about things, but I think we need to do that in a proper manner.
I mean, bus shelters.
It's just a ticket.
I think seats at bus stops could well succeed.
Yeah, anything like that. Yeah.
So, do we need to have a group to discuss this, or do we need to send ideas to the town clerk?
Chair, if I could ask if it's possible if the town clerk could contact KCC, ask how did we go? I mean, I must admit I haven't read all of it. I didn't read the top parts of it, but I haven't read all of it. But how do we progress this when we come up with something, let's say seats in bus stops? How do we come up? How do we go ahead with that? And how much money can we actually bid for? So we could put a bid in for £100,000, but you know you ain't going to get it. So
we could ask KCC how much a shelter would cost. I know it will depend on where it is and that sort of stuff, and a bench, but there must be some designs for bus shelters that you can just buy and plonk.
yeah, sorry, Chair, but I think now looking something that was on TV news the other day was that they want to improve all the bus stops with digital, everything like that, and to advertise on them, major advertise on them, to pay for them, etc., etc. So you've got to fall in with that. But as far as I say, we need some more information. If we just say we're very interested about bus stops, how we can improve them, what's the figure for improving your bus stops? TDC have got bus stops that we didn't know we bloody well had.
Yes, which is interesting.
That no one knew because they're so old, no one knew about it. So TDC have got to repair what they've already got. So maybe they will also be. So I don't know. It's not in my remit, but I think that's the way forward. To start with, let's get that. You know, we're not going to deal with it overnight, are we?
So we're going to
It's
ask.
quite detailed what you have to do.
Oh, well, there you are then. So
Ask KCC.
most of it, David.
Ask KCC what we can do to improve bus stops as a first stage. I wonder if that's Lausanne. Probably not.
Worth going to Lausanne to start off with, wouldn't it? She'd point you to the right place.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to ask if the climate change group has has this group's approval to discuss that at our next meeting and see what we might come up with, because we'll be looking at something very small.
It's not a problem.
Where we might put volunteer time in as match funding.
Okay. Okay, so have we decided?
I'll propose this. So you've got a proposal, although Councillor Grange has said it is outlined a bit in the actual paperwork, but it isn't just about that. It's about you know, is there a maximum cost that you can apply for? Or is there a maximum, you know, that you can, a maximum that you can go up to, or can you apply for £1.5 million?
Or is there something already in the pipeline that you were talking about?
Yeah.
TV,
Yes, is
that we can latch onto?
But I do think, Mr. Chair, I do really go along with Councillor Green's view in relation to seating in it, coverage of it, coverage, make sure the coverage is there to keep people dry and safe. And I think that would be a way forward and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, we can ask about how much a shelter is. And it's not a purpose-built one, it's an off-the-shelf one, if assuming you can get off-the-shelf shelters, presumably including a seat as well. So we could ask them about that.
Yeah.
And also whether there are any greater plans in the offing.
And the other question, Chair, I think that needs to be asked is, because it would be on highway land, and if we were to do it and we'd pay for it, who's going to fit it? It's KCC.
And what permissions are required?
And is there any permissions required? Because it's got to be from them anyway.
Yes, because it would presumably need planning, wouldn't it?
No, they could probably do it under the Highways Act, so I would
Yeah, I don't think it's fun.
Yeah.
Future plans.
Yes, the maintenance and all.
That's in the document.
You're in a squeegee.
We've already got shelters and benches on the front there. How are they maintained?
By us volunteers.
No, the bus
Bus shelters.
But they do come round every now and then.
They do come round.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
I expect to think it's Stagecoach.
Stagecoach, yeah.
They have a contract, don't they?
Okay, because they've got advertisements on them. At least if we had an electronic thing on those, that would be really helpful. But that is to do with whether they've got any master plans for all this stuff. Okay, everybody?
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay, so next is planning applications.
And that the one there, Pat and I on,
TV bond.
whether we want an industrial estate now. Conservationary. Again. Oh, this is the one I. Bristol Place.
Happy for me to go through these?
Yes.
So the first one, TV Bond Engineering Supplies, is an application for of 800 commercial industrial units following the demolition of existing buildings, including access, landscaping, layouts and scale. We have had this application for
Several times.
the last few years. We've repeated the same comment, which has been to support in principle use of land considers there are too many units in the outline application, not enough parking provision, access into existing highways are concerned, and the area is densely populated, and to avoid disturbance, any light industrial use should have usage time restrictions in place. It has been amended, the designs for the footpath have been with comments actually as well. So they're extending the pavement access width by 2 metres by 2 for the side by liners for the resident who lives there, and they've put in a bit about the spacing turning head point at the end. So the pavement bit here, which is this bit, and bin store they've put the drop bit there for the tactile paving, and then they've extended onto the turning head to explain a bit more of the turning size. And then there's a bit more about the bin storage, and that's the only additional plans or amendments.
Could you go back to the next, that's it. So, sorry, Chair,
Yes, go on.
if I may. I still think if you're getting vans, heavy vans up there, bigger lorry type van, they're not going to turn round there. They're not going to turn round. If there's cars parked in where they're showing a car parked in there, it's going to be very difficult for them because they do need to be able to go in forward and come out forward. If that for me is one of the reasons I'm not supportive of this application. The other reason, I think was there 8 originally?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, so they've knocked one off. But I am concerned about noise and everything for the residents that would be attached just before number 1. So I do think there would be an issue there. Yeah, you go back to the house for us. Yeah, I still think there, depending on what businesses are operating here depends on the level of activity. So if it's storage, if it's packaging, deliveries, there's going to be a lot of traffic going up and down there. So I have my concerns, Chair.
They have applied for Class E, which is not actually light industrial. It could be a variety. It could be shops, it could be hairdressers, there's a whole variety of things which it could be. There aren't a lot of lorries, or there aren't any lorries go up there at the moment. Because I've been and looked and talked. There is, as we know, quite a strong local pressure group against this, who have been going around knocking on doors, asking people to not support this. And I know, while we must take notice of what they say, there are a lot of people who do support it. For example, the dentist just along there, who has got plans of what it used to be like ages ago. Well, there was a fish and chip shop there in that terrace, and other shops in that terrace. So it hasn't always been residential, which may or may not be relevant because it is residential now.
I think that's beside the point, Chair.
It is, but a lot of the pressure is coming from people that say these are special historic residences, and they haven't always been residences. There's a lot of pressure saying it's going to kill school children. The school is a street away, and they already have huge lorries coming down there. Yes, Councillor Shaw.
I can just show you. I do know that.
So,
If you can try and keep these people happy, why not give them a better footpath? And this piece of land, it's nothing to do with the development, is it? Because that was a wonderful shop years ago.
That's what that line is, that's a new footpath.
Yes. Yeah, there is dispute about the ownership of the assets. Sorry, Councillor Austin.
I agree with what Councillor Alban said about deliveries, etc. It assumes that there are parking places for all the units and 2 others, which assumes that only one person works in each unit and there are 2 spaces for visitors. The land that abuts the house that we just looked at, there is a dispute with the owner of that house who claims that part of that land actually belongs to her and that they should not be applying. And this dispute has been going on for some time through lawyers, etc. Because under previous applications, she alleges that the application includes her land and shouldn't do. So there's a lot of complications about this application. It does not strike me that it is very much improved, and I still have all the concerns. And understandably, as Councillor Alban says, so do local residents. It's a conservation area. It's an area where there's a lot of footfall, a lot of small children going to the infant school, which is literally just across the road there, etc. It's not an appropriate development. If it was hairdressers and shops, where are people going to park? It would be lovely if they will walk there, but they're not going to. We know they're not going to.
Well, if I mean, I'm a great believer in how cities and towns grew up and evolved. They had houses, they had shops, they had workshops like this. And I think, you know, it would be nice to have somewhere that people could walk to work. I think it's quite important that we keep these places. I mean, I know it's not a planning consideration, but if there is no planning, it will stay as it is. And at the moment, the stuff goes on that is noisy and smelly, and this planning approval would restrict it to between 8 and 5, and not on Sundays, not on bank holidays. It would restrict noise and it would restrict fumes. So it would be an enormous improvement on the situation they've got at the moment. Yes, Councillor Austin, I can see your...
I just wanted to respond on the, at the moment, the activity that's going on is not covered under the current provisions, and therefore it is up to planning enforcement and environmental health to pick that up. We shouldn't be having to second guess what they're doing. That's not part of.
But we shouldn't be having to second guess what you think might go on here, because the person who owns the site breaks up cars. It doesn't mean to say that he's going to do it.
Oh no, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting
but
it's an inappropriate squashing in of industrial units into a site already in a residential.
Wings before me, so.
Sorry,
I mean, I actually think the idea of units on a space like this in a town centre location is a good idea, but we have with the HIP, we have identified this street as a situation, as a street that we have concerns about, and we had monitoring on there.
which showed 20 miles an hour.
It did. But it also showed that there were 3,000 vehicle movements, I think, in a week. So this, and I also drive a long wheelbase camper van, and I often go down Cannon Road and have to turn that way or that way. And it's very, very difficult. And the other concern I have is because the road is so narrow, the high street parts of it are so narrow, I actually have to take my wing mirrors in, because if two-way traffic happens, my wing mirror is actually over the pavement, and if there's somebody walking on that pavement, then I'm going to clip them with my wing mirror.
That happens.
So it's a concern. So my whole concern is around access in and out of there, and I agree with Councillor Alban and Councillor Austin. There's no way, even when the vehicle, I mean, I live on Hertford Street, James Street, where the parking is. Full staff bin lorry has to reverse back down there, back down a very narrow road. There's nothing at the end of it, so there isn't a problem because it's just a parking area. But that creates a massive issue, and I can see even the waste vehicle going to collect the 360 Paladin bins is not going to. It's either going to turn and then reverse down there so it can come out forwards, or it's going to go in forwards and then reverse back out. Both create a massive issue. And although the grammar school is over there, when the kids are arriving at school, they funnel down all the roads. They don't just go on the quickest route. They don't think. They're kids, they're on a mission, they're not aware about safety and the fact
They don't go down that road.
They just flood down both areas. It's quite a busy road on people going into town as well, so the access problems are a real big concern for me.
Councillor Sean?
Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So, I agree with most of what's said, so I'm repeating myself here. So, for example, we as a town council have written the fact that it's not that we disagree that this area should be used. It was a case of we don't like the current plan. So we're with you in the sense that yes, we could use this and it might be better. But going back to your comment about how towns and cities grew up and all the rest of it, with this sort of element of mixed use and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, we're in the situation now where we have bigger bin lorries, bigger this, that and the other. And so it's not this nice quaint little thing that somebody's going to drive his Morris Minor down and go into his workshop. We've got larger cars and everything. So I still think at the moment it's overdevelopment. My concerns are the turning area isn't big enough for most vehicles that want to deliver. It might be okay for a small or medium-sized car, however, we're talking about delivery vehicles. My second point is I feel for the house, and they might have been given a pavement, but I could also see that could become very problematic for that house, and I don't know what we can do with regards to that, but I think that would become irksome if I was living there. And as with regards to them fighting through the courts around the thing, I mean, that's something obviously we can't do anything about, but it's a very interesting point. And the last thing again is the exit onto the main road, as we say, because I do think, as Councillor Wing said, that road is particularly narrow and it's difficult to turn around in. And if you've got a large vehicle and you're going into a small road next to somebody's house, and those cars will be going over there if it's the same height, that pavement, as the road. They will be going over that block paving or whatever it happens to be at the time. They're not going to not unless there's a curb. And so it's lip service, I think, that pavement in front of that house, quite frankly, rather than a physical barrier so that house has safety against a vehicle that could be coming past their front door when they're stepping out. I think that's something that we do really need to consider. So those three aspects alone are enough for me to think that this is still not adequate for what we want in our town.
Councillor Shonk.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to get the vehicle up there. If any vehicle goes there, they'll have to come into the high street and back up there. But they're going, like Councillor Wing said, we don't want to stop these people working in the town because we've got so many businesses in the town. I just wish they'd come back with a bit of a tidier thought for the. Any complaints from these people? Have Ramsgate Town Council had any complaints about?
There are a whole long list of objections.
Don't get those beautiful.
They're all from the same pressure group.
Yeah, that's right. Are we talking about historical Ramsgate, which is paradise?
No, the pressure group has their point. It's just they went round to knocking on everybody's doors, and there are lots of people that don't agree with them who haven't got a pressure group. So we've got to be.
I think you've got to be very careful with your wording.
I was going to say, could I
very careful.
Everybody, not just this pressure group.
You can't. I'm sorry, Claire. I don't even know these people. I do object to that term, though. If people are concerned about something and they're asking their neighbours and they're alerting to people about and giving their thoughts, that's not a pressure group. That's concerned citizens wanting to find out and let other people know. Let's not name it something, please.
Well, whatever it's called, there are a lot of other views that aren't represented. For a lot of people are not the sort of people that would write in to the council to support something. Yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Councillor Nixie. I do feel that as Chair, Councillor Naginson, you are taking an opportunity to speak repeatedly on a matter that we know you feel strongly about, but I'm not entirely sure that it's appropriate. We are the ward councillors in that ward. We know you live in that ward as I live in your ward, but actually we've been working with residents in this area since we were elected. We know there's a huge variety of different views, but that very many residents are concerned about this because it is overdevelopment. Not that they want nothing to happen with that space, but that this is massive overdevelopment and inappropriate in a primarily residential area. Full stop.
Councillor Orban.
Yeah, I think what's missed here is that we, as a town council, are looking at a planning application. It's the residents' right to write to Thanet District Council who deal with the planning application. We don't deal with it. We only comment upon the application. And we should not take into account what residents are saying because we haven't got it. I haven't got it. I haven't got their views. So I can only get second-hand stuff. So I can't make decision on that, and neither should we all. We should make a decision in what's in front of us, purely on that alone, and nothing else. I've already given you my point of view on that. Is I have serious concerns about the traffic going in, whether it can come out straight, frontwards, and also about the effects on 135. And may I just point out that anyone can make a planning application on anybody's land. They just have to serve notice on them. Now, if there's an issue between the two, that's between them, and it's not. It doesn't mean anything to us when looking at that. So for me, it doesn't change anything. It's just that I think that we should.
I don't think anybody's suggesting it was, Chair.
Councillor Nixon.
Right, so I propose we reinstate our original comments, again with those three areas in mind. We're concerned about the turning circle, we're concerned about the exit, and we're very much concerned about the pavement, which could then effectively become lip service with regards to 135. So, as much as, you know, as we've said before, as much as we are aware and keen to have something on that site, we still feel that it's overdevelopment.
I'll second that, Chair.
Okay, all those in favour?
Okay, that clear enough, yeah.
All those against? Yeah, I think I'm against as well. Two against.
No, he said abstain.
Oh, abstain. Councillor Green, did you?
He's not on planning.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Right, okay.
Well, I'm not at TDC.
That's it.
Predetermined.
So,
You didn't mean that.
Okay, we second applications for land fronting. Advertising applications, erection display of one number, internally illuminated digital display screens. According by councillors Austin and Wing, grounds and do conservation area impact on neighbours, no detail of the site, in relation to public building, and whether it's.
Can I have a look where that is, please?
It's outside.
There's no number there, it's in between the site or.
Councillor, oh, sorry, Councillor.
May I add that this is, will not directly interrupt the Christmas tree. But we are concerned that the proximity to the Christmas tree, it will deter from the Christmas tree. We've asked TDC whether when the Christmas tree is up, would they consider switching it off? Or if we moved the tree a little bit, there then needs to be excavation of a new 2.5 foot hole and reconnection to electricity. And would TDC be prepared to assist with the costs for creating a new place for the Christmas tree to be? We haven't heard back. So there is a link to our Christmas tree with this application.
I think Councillor Wing was first.
Tricia was first.
Oh, was she? Sorry.
Since we have been elected, we have been on a mission to get rid of dead phone boxes in our ward. There was one on the Harbour opposite the Travelodge. There were two in York Street. There was one on Spencer Square. None of them worked. No residents ever complained that there was not a public phone box available to them. Gradually, by attrition over years and years and working with successive BT managers, we have managed to get rid of them all. And now this comes up. I feel like the character in the Greek myth that pushed the stone up the hill and then had it rolled back down again. All of a sudden, we just got rid of the last one in York Street, and now we've got this.
And that cost RTC money, removing it.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, can I just... So
it's just the order of things.
No, can I just finish what I was saying? Thank you. So as I say, we never had complaints from residents that there aren't public phone boxes. I do like the idea of a defibrillator and all of that, but I don't think it is worth the hassle. The police have objected on the grounds that these boxes attract antisocial behaviour. We know they do. They were basically used for public urination and drug deals.
And this, we suspect, will be no different. So I'm afraid I'm very strongly against it.
I did, so when the application come in, there was very little detail, and actually, I wrote to the planning officer, Myrtle, I think, and said, look, there's no site location, there's no orientation of which way it's facing, there's no information about the illuminated sign, how long it's going to be on, whether it's going to be switched off, there's no indication of, this diagram didn't exist, so you couldn't really work out which properties it was near. We did get a lot of that information back, and then we sent some more concerns over. I feel the same. There were 2 boxes in Queen's car park as well, which we got rid of as well. So I think we've got rid of 5 phone boxes. I also Googled the percentage of the population that actually rely on or use phone boxes, and it's 8%. So my feeling is it's a London-based company. The only reason this is going there is for advertising purposes only. It's in the conservation zone. There's no need. It's a blight on the community, and I just oppose it.
Sorry, Councillor.
I strongly oppose this, in the sense that I think we're spending a lot of time trying to declutter our public spaces and
make them more attractive.
Yes. Exactly. So I would propose that we oppose this on those grounds, including the Christmas tree aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? But if we were trying to declutter, we're trying to beautify things.
Impact on neighbours.
Street furniture, bloody eyesore. Even that cycle, let me look at that photo thing where even that cycle rack is bent. That could be removed as well. Just nobody ever uses it. It's bent. It looks okay there. It's bent. Street furniture, no.
Councillor Orban.
There's one reason we should refuse it, and it does not enhance the conservation. That's purely that. And also, I would have to say that I don't think you can mention the Christmas tree.
No.
Not really a planning issue. Bearing in mind it's there for about a week or so, 2 weeks at the most. So I would just go purely on the grounds that it does not enhance the conservation area.
And it's not needed.
That would be my view.
You agree?
Yeah, no need.
There was a time when we opposed all internally illuminated.
Yes.
In the conservation
And we
area.
should do.
That were on, but on shops mainly.
We opposed all of them,
Yeah.
which I agree with.
So you've got a proposal?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll second it, Chair.
All in favour?
Hang on, baby.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I've spotted that one though. Sneaked in.
The last application was 46 Grange Road.
Oh, yeah.
It's our approval application for changing use from retail to 100 dwelling, which is retrospect. Called by Councillor Green, reason the commercial uses no possible in the retail area. We have previously gone to a neighbouring property with the same thing, that is still pending. We get no comment. And there's no indication in the application to state whether they have.
it's retrospective, isn't it?
It's already happened.
Can I just look to see what the shop front, which one it is? Sorry.
Sorry, Councillor Green's got this one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
They've already done the work. Since I called it in to TDC, because they wanted to make the point that they should show that commercial is no longer feasible before doing it. But I've since had 2 emails from TDC Planning. The first one said that it was all a mistake. They shouldn't have put it on the list because it comes under the government scheme where you get pre-approval to change from commercial to residential. So I couldn't object. But then I had a second email from them saying that because they'd already done the work, that new rule by the government no longer applies to them. And I could object. And they would be sending out a new notification.
Councillor Nix, did you?
No, I just wanted, sorry, I was asking Dean to show me which particular building it was, so I wanted to make sure I was talking about the right one, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, happens all the time. I know I've been past that property loads of times. It's not been used for some time, if I remember rightly. I've got the right one. And providing the room sizes are okay, and it's going to go to a single dwelling and not in like two flats or something. Personally, I can't see a problem.
Is it a single dwelling?
It isn't a single dwelling. It's various flats, isn't it?
Yes, it's various flats.
No, I think it's a single dwelling.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I thought one
Yeah.
dwelling. I saw
One dwelling.
one dwelling.
And they've already done it.
And you enjoyed that, and that's neither here nor there. We're looking at that.
I think it's a really attractive shop.
It's a beautiful shop, yeah.
A prominent position, and I'm surprised that it has not got a commercial use, Councillor Wynne.
I think it's quite interesting that they kept that bit at the front, so at least it can look like it's adding to the retail section. Quite a few places on Addington Street do exactly the same, and there's living space behind it. So
As long as they keep the shop front, I think that would be
Yeah.
the thing.
keep the shop. Yeah.
The application to keep the shop front.
Unfortunately, the coffee shop further down the road on
Hasn't.
Grange Road didn't. And that was a shame.
It's just a question of whether we want to defend these out of town centre shopping
areas,
streets. Because we support. What's
20
it
minute
called?
neighbourhoods.
20-minute neighbourhoods.
Well, Chair, I think that obviously part of the process that the planning officers will go through is asking that particular point you raised, David, about whether have they tested the water, are they just going to, I don't know whether it's changed ownership or whatever, I haven't got a clue, but they will do that. And if there isn't, you know, what was it? I can't remember what it was.
Was it the one where you painted pottery?
No, that's further
No,
on.
that's
No,
I've lived on that
previously
road.
officers are saying that now they're not involved. They're not involved.
Oh, right, because prior approval.
Yeah, they only need to be notified.
Councillor Sharp wanted to.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's only because they've done the work
Yeah.
without notifying them.
Yeah.
Can I just say, on that shop front, if they keep that shop front, and it's an improvement, we should go with that. We've lost so many shops in the town. You go to Doom, it's still buzzing. They've still got individual shops. We've gone the other way. There's still the older folk that want to spend money in our town. So I'd say, if it still looks like a shop, it is a shop. What they do behind the doors, because we've got some awful planning down here. Shop front window with a brick wall behind
So
it.
were we talking
The matter
King Street?
some of the planning that's been allowed over the years. If it looks like a shop front, and they've tidied the site up, I'm all for it.
Okay.
What do we do? Just know this? I mean, I don't know.
Yes, I think we just noted.
I've certainly got no objection to it, to be honest.
No.
Out of our hands as council.
My house was a shop, and then when we moved in, it was a living room, and then we changed it back to a shop. It cost money. Okay, so we're noting this.
So is there a seconder?
I'll second it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bit of a strange one.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Bit of a strange.
Well, you can always reverse. It's not the actual structure.
That's why I say that shop.
Yeah.
Secondary shop fronts.
It's a friend who did that workspace.
That's got to be continued.
I had a friend who lived in what had been an antique shop.
Okay.
Install the window. And of course, people cannot if they want to buy such.
Sure, there.
Yeah.
The highways.
Are we?
No, sorry, that's not done. I've gone the wrong one, we're done. Yeah, no, sorry. Wednesday, the 1st of October is the date on it.
Okey dokey.